So we're going to take it to Musescore for a little bit here and just talk about how we should be thinking about the splits that we receive. So right here I have just a pretty stock six-tuplet split here that I'm sure many of you have seen before. This or things like this could look intimidating at first. So let's talk about how to break it down. The most basic way to break this down, you should hear this while you're playing it. That is where your mind should be at for the whole time, is on the check. So obviously, it's just the first note of each one. This is a quarter note triplet check, and we're playing fours, so that makes six tuplets. And so that's what you should be thinking about while you hear that. You should only be thinking about playing your check and filling out evenly whatever your split is, whether it's twos, threes, fours, or whatever. Cool, so here I have something that's quite a bit more complicated than just some simple six tuplet fours runs. So let's take a listen to it quick. Now, obviously, there's a lot going on in there, just from the perspective that it's really fast to play. So we can't really be trying to think about every single note. We need to have the practice of filling out our splits and just be thinking about the check. Right, when you hear that, it's a lot less intimidating to try to wrap your head around. I think we can all count 16th notes, figure out which one we're on. The tempo isn't too hot. And then if we do that and we just know that, okay, I'm playing a two, or if you're bass 4 and 5 right here, you're playing fours, so you'd play that off your right or off your left, depending on what you're instructed to do. And then as long as we fill out our check pattern completely and evenly, then we'll be able to go from thinking about that check to playing those smooth 30-second note runs up and down. So another example of something that could maybe look intimidating if you were given it, but if we take a deep breath and just really look at it, right? These are just dotted eighth notes is how you should think about it, right? So if we listen to this split, it's the same thing. You're just switching from threes to fours over the same check. So as long as we have practiced, played chops or whatever exercise you like to do to practice filling out your splits really well, and always with a metronome, of course, all you need to think about is this dotted eighth note check. And just hear that the whole time as you're playing your threes and fours. And it especially comes in handy with this kind of thing, because if you're thinking about the 16th notes while you play this, you're probably going to mess up when you get to the dotted 32nd notes. But if you're thinking about dotted eighth notes the whole time, your brain doesn't have to make the switch. So here's where we get into sort of the epitome of what I'm trying to get at here. So this is decently complicated. We got some 16th note singles runs. That's not easy. And a lot of motion changes in here that we would have to get used to, right? But let's just listen to this. Cool. So like I said, not the easiest thing in the world by any means. Um, but I think decently achievable if you're given it, at the beginning of the season, if you're looking for a challenge for yourself or for you and your friends. So if we think about it like this, it's really not too bad. But this isn't what our music would look like, right? If we were given it, we would see this. And this is obviously, a little anxiety inducing if you're given a sheet of music with this much ink on it. This is a lot to look at. But this is the same thing. As bass drummers, we need to be able to look at this and immediately start interpreting like, okay, this is an eighth note run, right? These are 16th note runs. These are quarter note triplet runs. These are eighth note triplet runs. These are eighth note runs again. So that's a motion change in the middle. 16th note run and then dotted eighth note run down the line. You just need to be able to pick that out right away. So if we listen to, whoa, if we listen to this again one more time. Cool. So I'm sure this is how, whoever's in front of you, your tech, your teacher, this is probably how you'll be breaking it down for the most part. And as you add in more of the splits, this is how you should continue to think about it as you move towards playing this. So yeah, you can't just approach this if you're given a sheet of music that looks like this or something similar. Um, you can't just attack it and start playing fours or start playing, 30-second note, dotted 30-second note fours down the line. It's just not going to happen. You have to know how to break it down, look at it like this. This is what you should see when you look at music like this. So practice, look through past music that you got, look through current music that you might have, whether it's exercises or show music. There's tons of places that you can go find past music for different drum corps and stuff like that. So you can look at that kind of stuff and try to pick out what the check of what they're playing is. And then even sometimes if you're looking at previous drum corps shows, you can find a video of them playing and see if you can pick out and listen for the check, and then sort of train your ears to hear the music like that, rather than these, twos and fours and things like that.